Hello, good afternoon, all you beautiful people. We are back for some more EverQuest. Everybody loves EverQuest. I know I do. Very much so. Today on the menu, all going well, will be a little bit of plane of hate of farming. Really hate this place. Good. You got the idea. Okay. Enough of this. Enough of this carry on. Let's log in and kill some things. Slay those evil things. I did a little bit of scouting earlier, and I know there are some named spawns up. Which can only mean one thing. They need to die. Oh, I need some weapons. Alright, let me just get some. Do some shopping for some rusty weapons. Rusty weapons. Hey. What up, buddy? When is the stream? Join. Yeah, sorry, man. I had a busy day. I'm hoping to get a little bit of playtime. Of course. Of course you can have AI friend. But of course. Do I have MGB on this guy? No. Of course not. MGB is for rich people. These are some shitty alts that don't have all the AAs. Because when I bring them on raids, there's plenty of people that have MGBs, so I don't need to, frivolously spend my hard-earned AA points on MGBs. Ricky Bobby! I love that movie, such a good movie. Alright, I gotta go back to trying to find some rusty weapons. Okay, this'll do. Usually I like to get some different weapons. Oh, there we go. That's a reason to get a different weapon when the merchant runs out of rusty longswords. The reason you want a different weapon is because solid rapier. Yes, perfect. NPC charmed monsters will not equip two of the identical weapon. You need a different weapon. So slightly different weapon, like a longsword and a short sword. That will be just fine. Two identical longswords, no bueno. The NPC only equips one. This is due to some code where torches don't work here. I have tried that. There was that droga drop that people talked about, but that does not work here. So you got to get proper weapons and stuff. Yeah. Look, Mom, on TV. And who said XRs can't jump? No worries, man. Happy hunting. Slay those dragons. Alright, I don't have much time, so I gotta get a move on. Happy hunting to you, and I shall see you soon. I need to kill some stuff. Some stuff in Plane of Hate again. Every 3 days, like clockwork, gotta kill those minis. Not gonna kill themselves. We can't let them, you know, just live happily in the Plane of Hate. The Earth MQ, I think it's about 20 to 30k. Depending on the seller. You might be able to get it for 20k from someone if they're feeling generous. I usually do 20 to 25. Used to be worth like 30 to 40, but not lately. Nice, that's a good deal. That air crown for 10k is very good deal. As I said, I can't be bothered farming it for so cheap, so very good. Good hustle, man. Hey, what up, Crush? Subscriber discounts, yeah, I wish. I think that might get you banned. That's probably like RMT or something, right? Gotta watch out for those tricky people that will try to sneak in. Like, you like my content? You get discount banned. Banned. Straight to jail. Believe it or not, jail. Watch my stream, jail. Use some bits for a cheer, jail. Subscribe, believe it or not, jail. Bits for Earth stuff, yeah, nice. Only I don't even know what the revenue share is for Twitch. I haven't looked into it. I don't know. I don't know what I get. Probably not much. You get to have fun. That is your reward. Yeah. I'm just enjoying some company. I just enjoy hanging and chatting with you guys. That's the beautiful reward. That is more than sufficient. And I appreciate you all. Billy, are you sure it's not purchasable in maybe Shadowhaven? Shadowhaven might be easier. So how to get it in Shadowhaven? I believe if you go from the bazaar. Yeah, if you go Nexus, then bazaar, then you go to the end of the bazaar and go right, and you zone into Shadowhaven that way. Then when you go straight, go up the stairs, and then in front of you is going to be like a little U-shaped building. If you enter it from around the side, there's going to be a little teleporter pad. I think Druid and Shaman and Beast Lord spells are sold there. So I think it's, yeah, that sounds about right, Crash, I think. I saw somewhere on some page it was like 50-50 revenue split, but I didn't look into it much further. But sounds about right. Which is pretty good. I'll take it. I'm not hosting all the internets that make this streaming possible, so I'm happy to give the Twitch service my cut. I haven't quite got enough Raspberry Pis linked together to make Twitch streaming work from my bedroom, but until that happens, the Twitch servers can can have all the revenue they wish. I don't have enough RAM to host the entire Twitch service on my computer, I'm afraid. I'm gonna need more RAM. Yeah. Maybe I'll negotiate. I'll be like, I demand 80%. My services are simply irreplaceably unique, and you must give me more, or I'm gonna go and cry into a pillow. I demand respect. Not sure how all that might go down, but maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll get like an East End thug to speak for me. Outsource the intimidation services to London East End thug. Ooh, Slate begins to cast a spell. Who is Slate? I have been spotted. Okay, pet hell. How we doing? How we doing? Sabotage. Yeah. Good luck scouting when I punch you in the eye. Sabotage. Ooh, Elysian boots. I don't think I need those. So, good. Junk buffs. What do I need? Hit point buffs. Oh, I don't need Yelp. I need Dispel. Have I got Egoism? I do. What else do I need? Ah, yes. I need my damage shield. Prevent the magician mobs from doing fire damage and kicking my ass. Now, find a pet. This might be a little bit risky. Do I want to get this guy? No. Hey, nice, cool, man. Glad you could get it. I do vaguely remember that spot having some spells that you need. I've been there myself, trying to get those spells. Excuse me, drinking energy drinks. I just felt like something sweet, and I believe this is a sugar-free one. Yeah, sugar-free ones. Not drinking to an early grave. Just staying hydrated with something sweet. So this is in no way sponsored by sort of energy drink. Supporter, yeah, I wish. Might not be performance enhancing to the to the benefit of EverQuest, getting drunk, but it would be entertaining for the viewers nonetheless, I believe. I watched a Level Up Larry stream where he had a whiskey tasting friend come on stream, and they did like a double stream sort of thing, and they just got progressively more and more drunk. It was very funny, but they were smart that they played level 1 character, so they created a brand new little exercise. They had like a warrior or a monk and a little shaman, so they were just screwing around and field of bone. dying to scorpions and pups. So the inebriation was for entertainment purposes. I wouldn't trust somebody getting drunk and doing something a bit more challenging, like triggering Plane of Hate minis. He might get a bit too confident. Yeah, drinking and hell giants does go hand in hand indeed. That's a very, very good point. Just farm that plat, pretty good. I hope that guy that was scouting didn't think I was picking on him or being mean. I was just teasing. Punching his eye in an aggressive way. Whoa. Okay. See, this is the kind of fun you get to have. And now we get the chomp right. Right. This should work if I heal the pet. Try to miss this golem. Try to heal mage pet. Try to come in here and tank before it dies. Yes. Alright. We're good, we're good, we're good. Oh, dude. I need to get out of here. There we go, that's better. I need to pacify this thing. Refresh. Maybe do some slows, because this guy's not going to summon, but the Lich will summon, so I will miss the Lich. I need to dispel this guy, because he is... Yeah, we're good. Pop-pop-pum, pop-pop-pum. Oh my god, what's up with this pet? Come on. Get this this charm to go. Yes, good. Mez the spike golem. Remez the Lich. Did we lose it? No, it's dead. Okay, we're good. Get a horse up. So what I'll do now is I will get this Lich out of here by slowing it and then dispelling it. It's going to summon me, but I should be able to run back out so that it's not training me any further. Like this. Then we'll just mez it. So now we're good. I've got a horse up on my cleric. I'm going to get a little anti-regen help. Check, make sure my head is still hasted, we're good. It's still hasted, we're good. Now what I'll do is I'll click my breastplate, my Donald's BP, so that I can heal without using mana, because my cleric is getting a little bit low on mana. So I'm going to do a long CH. I'll get a horse up. Maybe hit this guy. Yep. And then just here's my pet root or something. Pet health, yep, rooted, so I'll pull the spike golem back so that it's in the range of my pet. There we go. Now I'll also heal the pet with a long CH. There we go. Take control. That was a little bit exciting, but that's why we love the plane of hate. What we live for. Yeah, I'll just move this item to a different container, maybe not. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. Okay, now we're back. We've got still got our buffs. It's good. Thanks, yeah. A little bit of excitement. It's one way to clear a bunch of monsters from the Maestro area. Expedited clearing. Then we'll carry on. Yeah, I hope that Slate guy, the level 52 wizard that was just scouting, didn't get offended with my aggressive punching of his Eye of Zombie. I was just being funny. Yeah, so there's a couple of custom mobs. This is why I sometimes like having custom mobs as pets, because they will stop and cast. So instead of breaking and instead of just hitting you non-stop, they'll like try to nuke you or something. And that you can use that time to recharm them, because they're not hitting you and they're not interrupting you. So, for example, in Strahd Temple, sometimes there's revenants like a Shadow Knight or a Necro hit. They will stop and cast, giving you time to recharm them. And reposition this so it's not pushing it into the roamers. These roaming mobs will aggro. So straight melee mobs are pretty good because they do a bit more damage. They're just consistent. They keep hitting, but they're a bit more difficult to recharm because of interrupts. Whereas a custom mob might stop and cast, which will give you a chance to mez it or stun it or recharm it or whatever you want to do. The reason why I dispel all these mobs all the time is because of this damage shield that they have. See how my pet is being burned. The magician damage shield is actually quite high. It's like 30 points, which kills your pet quite quickly. So I just dispel all the mobs. Look how many stuns are happening. Sunforce. That's like just chain stunning his ass. Pretty good. And another reason why I dispel these is because the shaman mobs will give them Spirit of Wolf. And if I don't have snare on these hits, I didn't give them snare proccing weapons, and I don't have a class that can snare. So if mobs flee, they start slowly walking back. Usually they get killed by the 2 pets pretty quickly, so it's not a big problem. But if they have Spirit of Wolf, then they'll flee really quickly. So a sudden force is what you see is stunned by a gust of pure elemental magic. That's the mage pet. When you see struck by a sudden force, that's a combination of 2 things. The Lich, Loathing Lich pet, procs Spectre stun natively. So the monster itself has a native innate proc stun. But in addition to this, I've given it 2 proccing weapons. One weapon being a Harmonic Dagger, which procs Titian's Clash, which is a 6-second stun, I believe, or a 4-second stun. And I've given it a Nullhide Lariat, which is this weapon. Oh, no, not this weapon. This weapon. Which procs a normal level, like, 8 Cleric stun or something like that, which is a 4-second stun. So a combination of those, both innate procs as well as the double weapon procs, means that lots of stuns are happening, which is pretty good. Pretty much the majority of the trash will be permanently stunned. When you see the red stuff around the monster, I could turn the particles on higher to demonstrate this. Let's see, opacity maybe. If I go to 20, 25 or something. When you see the red stuff, that's the stun proc. See how all the red stuff is happening? That's the mob being pretty much permanently stunned, which is good times. It's good for cleric mobs because it will interrupt the complete heals, and also good for preventing the enchanter mobs from casting Mez, from casting. So you see how I dispelled the damage shield, but it came back, which means this mage mob is close by. So he just stopped and rebuffed it. The males are magicians, the females are enchanters. So having a mob permanently stunned, basically, yep, the Entrapment will charm. He'll. If you don't have good enough magic resist, so see how I've got 291 magic resist, 257 magic resist, and 221 magic resist. That is not on accident. That is on purpose. These are well-geared characters with good resists, and I keep them high with group resist magic. I always make sure I have that buff on. Because I don't want to get charmed or mezzed by the enchanter mobs. It's very high on the not good scale. Like if you're fighting and you get mezzed, you kind of screwed. Because if a mob is hitting like your mage or your cleric, there's nothing you can do about it because you're mezzed. If the mob starts hitting you, then it will break mez. But yeah, you don't want it to mez you. If it mezzes your cleric, you're in big trouble. Very much no bueno. So this is why being a stunning pet, regardless of which pet I charm, if it's a lich, sometimes I charm the little gargoyles because they are rogue mobs. They do good backstab damage and stuff like that. And they're just consistent and they have quite low magic resist. They're pretty good pets, so I'll give them stun weapons as well. But I had a guildie say that he uses the Lich mob, which is kind of like a double stunning thing because it procs stun on its own, as well as the weapons that I gave it. So this is why it's just spam galore. Sunforce, Sunforce, Sunforce. Pretty good. So this prevents the mob from rooting my pet, from mezzing my pet, from charming my pet. It prevents the clerics from healing themselves. It prevents the mob from dispelling you or dispelling your pet. That's one thing that breaks charm, is when a mob dispels your pet, which is super annoying. So now my charm duration is getting quite low. The full duration is about 20 minutes on Allure, like 18 minutes or something. And that's a good timer that when your Ash and your Melusine will wear off. So what I do is I purposely break Charm and just recharm it, but I do it like this. I have a right-click item that has a 3-second Gather Shadows. And then concurrently I have the Lich targeted on my Cleric, and I will stun it. I have the Lich targeted on my Magician, and I will cast Melusine on it, which will debuff its resists. So the sequence is click, cast, debuff, Charm will break, it will get stunned. I've just tashed it, and I've recharmed it. And there we go, we're back. So it's a little sequence of events that makes refreshing Charm easy. And I can refresh the Tash and Melusine on the pet as well to lower its magic resist. Magic resist is what makes Charm duration last longer. Now, this Mistress of Scorn has a mage staff, but it is not the correct mage staff. It is just a fire staff. Yep, Tash and Mel absolutely stack. So Tash is the enchanter magic resist. Melusine is the. But now I gotta stun this pet because he's gonna kick my ass. Yep. Now I gotta heal the mage pet. Melusine is a magic, cold, and fire debuff. Only those three. It doesn't debuff poison and disease, I believe. To debuff poison and disease, you need a special line of different spells that shamans have. I will just double check this to make sure I'm not lying. Actually, yes, no, it's cold magic, fire, and poison. There's a special disease one. I need to slow this mob. But I'm trying to do it in a controlled fashion so it doesn't summon me, because it's going to beat on my ass unslowed, and I don't want that. Maybe I need to attach it first. I'm probably going to get summoned now. Nope, not yet. Okay, we're good. The Mistress of Scorn is very resistant, so not having much luck landing Melusine or anything here. But I do need to slow it. There we go. Yeah, so Melusine, the Shaman line is minus Cold Magic, Poison, Fire. And Tash is minus Magic. So both of them combined should give you about minus like 100 Magic Resist, which would be pretty good. It should make most of the mobs here at the floor, at the lowest point you can get it. I believe there's a minimum magic resist of 5. So you can't go into negative resists. But that Drizzle's Decoy, I have no idea. I literally have never used that spell. I believe that spell doesn't do anything. I've been trying to figure out what it does, and it's like some kind of weird... not here. Maybe on P99 it works differently, but here it doesn't seem to do shit. I don't know how it's coded on P99, but yeah, unfortunately here that pet is like... yeah, no. It's some kind of weird, pet that... like an enchanter pet that assists you only if you get hit or something. I don't understand the mechanic of it. It's not just the normal fire pet here. There's a special mechanic. But yeah, this fire staff doesn't really do anything, so I'm not even gonna loot it because it's crap. It is a cool corpse though. I do like it. The positioning is pretty funny. Is just hanging out. Just vibing. Yeah, right. Fire stuff in the fire pot. Just trying to light the torch. The fire stuff has been extinguished. He's just trying to relight it. Yeah, so now I might go and kill this guy because he's in the way. He's gotta die anyway. Oh shit. Jeez. Calm down, mate. But this guy, unfortunately, not be slowed. He is magic resistant, I believe. And I can't land a slow on him, so gotta kill him unslow. He does a lot of damage, so I gotta keep the pets up with heals and stuff. Thanks, Crush. Good advice. Crush is correct. You can disease slow him, I believe, except I don't have a pocket shaman. Maybe if I charmed a spike golem with dictate and then told them to cast disease slow, that might work. There's a few shamans. I've got a pocket shaman. They're quite handy. They have very good versatility, but the reason why people don't play them here is because they're a high APM class, actions per minute. They're quite involved with needing to click lots of buttons. This is alleviated later when you get the Shaman AA called Cannibalization. It's a class AA that gives you just one giant canny hit. It's a short refresh time, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something, Crush. And it's just a giant, like, minus 2,000 hit points plus whatever mana. It helps you not having to constantly canny dance. Canny dance is the act of casting Cannibalization 3 or Cannibalization 4 spell over and over to get your mana back. It just requires constant clicking, so a lot of people hear 3 box and requiring constant attention to one character just to get some mana back is, annoying. But they're very useful in raids. They're very fun. You can tank relatively good. You can torpor yourself, and you can slow bosses. They're essential to some encounters that can only be disease slowed. So there's a few bosses like Emperor Sra and Lord Inquisitor Saru that can only be disease slowed because they are slowable, but they're immune to magic. So you need a disease-based slow to slow them. Same with some encounters in Planes of Power. And on raids, they're really, really good because obviously everything needs to be slowed. So don't leave your house without a pocket shaman. Shaman, mage. Okay, yeah, cool. That's right. So that will allow you to focus on the shaman while you mage pet. Your mage is effectively just pet attack and just nuke. You can just assist and nuke, that kind of stuff. And you can mainly focus on the shaman. So that's pretty good. That should work. Shaman also has a pet. Yep. That's also a viable strategy, is you have a trio that complements other people's trios. So you look at like, okay, this is the most common trio, so what can I do that will complement that? And that's very good. That's a good approach. Because if everyone has, you know, enchanter cleric, X, you know, an enchanter cleric warrior, enchanter cleric warrior. If you have two enchanters, two warriors, and two clerics in a group, that's a pretty shitty group. Let's be honest. So if you have a trio that's pure DPS, you know, like rogue wizard or something, where you can't really do much stuff yourself, but you are a great addition to any typical trio, that's really good. And it's, you know, DPS stacks on raids, it stacks infinitely. You can have, you know, 10 rogues and you'll do 10 times the damage. If you have 10 wizards, you'll do 10 times the damage. If you have 5 shamans, you're not going to slow the monster 5 times better. You're going to, you know, you can help slow multiple monsters in a more effective fashion, because if you get a resist on one, you can switch to the other, etc., and another shaman can cast the slow. But it's not like an infinitely stackable class. There's only so much, you know, slowing you need to do with a shaman, or, you know, buffs. Like, for example, you can just do Kuros focusing, one shaman does it, and then you're kind of good, I guess. More shamans is great. I mean, if you're in a raid that's clearing lots of trash, yeah, Crasher's Monk is a beast. He's so good. He's got like 200 hit points or something. So many resists. Another monk, check out Spreckles. Spreckles is a guildie of ours who used to be very active. He used to play a lot, like all the time. But unfortunately, he got a job, and he's just busy working in real life, so he doesn't play as much. He pops on as like a little celebrity appearance occasionally, but he doesn't play it all the time like he used to. He was always up for adventures. He was great. You'd just be playing, you just log on, and he'd be like, any monsters need smashings, and he'd always just be down to join you and kill stuff and do weird quests and whatever with you. But he basically won EQ. He maxed out AAs on his monk a long time ago, and he's got like a shitload of resists and stuff, so he's like pretty much finished with gear. So he's just focusing on real life. He got a job and he's working and he's doing all the good real life stuff. And he may come back for POP. We'll see. Yeah, Spreckles, he like maxed his AAs like 2 years ago. It was crazy. He just played a shitload. He had 300 plus AAs. Because he just played all the time. But, oh nice, I didn't realize you passed him on the resistance crush. That's pretty cool. I think he said he was missing like maybe 2 slots or something. Don't know what he needed exactly, but... Those monks love their resists. I geared my monk. I've got a monk that gives for, yeah, it gives for resists, because you need it for pulling. You're doing tricky things where you jump into the fray and you are getting your ass whooped by a train of monsters. You don't want to get like rooted or snared or nuked too much, so resists are really good for monks. They will help you not die. So if they cast a spell on you, it'll still break your Feign, but at least it won't kill you. Yeah, Mage is up. He doesn't have a staff though. I scouted it earlier. He doesn't have a staff, so it's not very exciting. Staff is about 20% drop rate, so... No. Stop it. Stop it. So this rat was a roamer that came from the pathing area over on this side of the Maestro Hall. Because Meiji was coming down the stairs and the rat was pathing, so that's why I cleared a few of the roamers, but obviously not all of them. Yeah, crash number 1. Yeah, I don't know if there's many monks in. I mean, with Temerity, right? You only need to look at their mains. So Temerity Guild is another guild in the server who is pretty much equivalent to us in progression. They were quicker than us to Plane of, sorry, not Plane of the Vex style by about 3 months, but we were there like a year before other guilds. So Temerity Guild, if you go, it's like temerityguild.org. You can go onto their website and look at their roster, and it'll basically tell you all their mains. They have a different loot system where mains take precedence, and all the mains are really well geared, but all their ults are not, because they favor mains. So if like a new person joins, they'll, you know, give the new main, they'll shower them in loot. But you can pretty much be guaranteed that there's not going to be the ult of theirs that's better geared than the main. So you can go to the website, look at the monk class, and see the, you know, 3, 4, 5 monks that they may have as their mains, and just click on the Magellan profiles, and it will tell you the gear, so you can see, you can compare and see, get some gearing ideas and stuff, and if Crash is better than them, then you pretty much should be number 1. Hell Giants are great, man. When I first started on the server, I lived on Hell Giants. When I got to level like 35 or something and I could kill Hill Giants, I just, yeah, went there and lived there until about 45 or so, 44, because it was such a good player. Oh, until he killed Watchman Dream. He's an exile, man. He doesn't have a heart. He just goes and kills everything and everyone. It's just how it be, those evil exiles. Free Watchman Dream. Hero of the known people. Oh dear. Nice, good man, good man. I'm working on getting some more MQs for you, buddy. So I will keep farming these minis and try to get some more. I just need more earth staves to be able to create more epics, and I'll chip away at it. If I need to, I can probably buy one from Smudge if he still has one for sale, so I could like buy the stuff off him and do the thing. But I think you're completing it yourself anyway. You've got the crown. If you buy the earth stuff MQ, I think Smudge has one for sale, so hit him up, and he will maybe cut you a deal or something. He can give you the Twitch stream deal. But it's absolutely the best way to go about it, is like you just farm Hill Giants, and it's consistent. It's consistent progress and linear. You can every day you're like, got another 5k, Boom, boom. Yeah, you're a founder, so you have one of the first subscriptions, which is freaking awesome, dude. Thanks again. A pet rooted or something. Yep, rooted. Damn. Okay. I gotta get this revenant back into the range of my pet. Hey Nasham. How you doing, buddy? So Nasham is another guildie. He's got crew of exiles. Stock, yeah. He's in here. And Nasham's got, I believe, a shaman, a beast lord. He's got a whole crew of people I can't even keep up. So many else. Oh wait, I need to back up my pets again. Yeah, little druid. Too bad you can't make an Ixa druid, huh? That'd be against every conceivable law violation, law rules of Norith and Ixa druid. God, they've added a bunch of new race class combos in EQ Live. I think you can do like a human shaman now, something like that. Is that right? I'm not sure. I know we've got gnome and halfling paladins in gnome shadow knights and stuff. I believe that was a new addition. Gnome shaman, yeah, that'd be dope. You could just grow yourself and be a giant gnome. That's one thing I love about the grow spell. Is giant gnomes are like the most terrifying thing ever. I remember one time back in the day when I used to play on the Tribunal server, there was once a GM that came. We were like hunting in Sulby, and the GM came because there was like some dispute or some petition or something he was trying to sort out. And he just grew himself, and he was just this giant gnome at the like Kobold King area, and everyone was like, "Holy shit, what's going on?" I've never seen a gnome that large. Oh, speaking of Apothecary, here you go, buddy. Right here for you. It's good fashions. I'm sure you know what it looks like from P99, but it's a lot better than this black robe. Fortunately, this bile-drenched robe has no graphics. That kind of sucks. But hey, it's good stats. This is the bile-drenched flesh robe. Resists mana, flowing thought. Doesn't have any hit points, so this is why it was cheap on the DKP purchases. Because it has no hit points, but it's a very good robe nonetheless. Yep, top fashion, you know it. What I like is the wizard plane of growth robe, the robe of the icicles, or like sorcerer's robe or something like that. It's got a really like fluorescent red-orange graphic. It's pretty cool. I'm sure you're already aware, but there's that P99 page, the armor sets page, where it shows you all the armor, and you can click and it shows you like the fashions. So if you go classic, Plane of Hate, it'll show you the person in it. So the Plane of Growth, Wizard, Sorcerer's Robe. It should have the fashion graphic. Yeah, this guy. I like it. Look at that. Like nice and red. I like that page. Yeah, white shoes. Enchanter stuff is white shoes as well. Maybe it's the same for all the Sky Shrine Silk. So I don't know what mini is up here, or if one has even spawned. This is going to be a YOLO moment. I didn't scout it. I'm just assuming there's a mini up here, so we shall find out. Gonna go here, underneath it. It should aggro. It's up. Is it up? Oh dear. Oh dear. It's gonna be a train, a train of shit. Oh dear, I got a fucking rat. Oh boy, this chest sucks. Oh. Yeah, I gotta control this nonsense. I gotta get rid of this chest. So what I will do is I'll miss it with Rapture, which has a high mem blur chance component. I need to wait for my mem blur to refresh. What I'll do is I'll pacify it, and then this gem should refresh, and this is a continuous mem blur, so it will try to mem blur it maybe like 4 or 5 times. Anyways, while the mob is pacified, the idea is that it will just walk away. I don't want to fight this mob because it procs a dispel. My pet will most likely just chain stun it. But yeah, there we go. Get out of here. Oh, I don't want to deal with it, so I'm just what I do is I pacify it and then I mem blur it. Because if you just mem blur it, it will just re-aggro. Mez will break and the mob will just assist again. But if you pacify it, then its aggro radius will get reduced, and if you mem blur it, it will forget you as well as not re-aggro because it's been pacified. So this is how you deal with making monsters go away that you don't want to deal with as an enchanter. As you just Passian mem blur and then just walk away. This works on mobs that can be pacified, obviously, so it doesn't work on monsters that are too high level. At the moment, the pacify level cap for enchanters is 60. For a druid, it's 65. And this avatar of abhorrence will also enrage, so I need to turn it around and tank it for a little while. But it gets to 8% health, so now And the reason why I'm resisting muscle spasm, I believe this is a disease-based snare, is because my poison and disease is very high. The reason why my poison and disease is very high is because I have flowers of functionality from Plane of Mischief. So these little flowers, aura of black petals and aura of green petals, these buffs, these are 50 poison and 50 disease resist. It's also high because I have really good gear. A lot of big style gear has very high resist on it. You know, plus 12 to all resists, plus 20 to all resists, plus 5 to all resists. Pretty much everything has, you know, 12 to all resists, 10 to all resists, 35 to poison, 9 to all resists, that kind of crap, right? So everything I have has high resists. 9 to all resists, 12 to all resists, 7 to all resists. The Faradar robe is good, 15 to all resists, so yeah, resists are really good. A very handy stat to gear for.
Fizzle.
Very useful. You avoid taking too much damage from various spells. Yep, we do VP. Not super often, but we do it. We mainly just snipe Silverwing, which is the first dragon that drops the bard loot. And we do Faradar, which is the final boss with the best loot. Drops some really nice things. A great, oops. Drops a great robe, drops a great back item. I believe I am wearing the back item on my cleric. Proud of Vision, yeah. Drops a great helmet. Helm of Ryle. It's really good for clerics or for bards. It's not very good for wizards. Oh, sorry, not very good for enchanters, magicians, and necromancers because they get Circlet of the Felnican, which is a really good item to lower the cast time of affliction spells. Affliction spells are debuffs, such as slows, charms, dots, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a Valious quest, and it's ridiculously good because it's got a focus effect here. So on P99 items don't have focus effects, but on here, Circlet of the Felnican has Affliction Haste free focus effect, which is incredibly good. It's actually a difficult item to replace. You get raid drops that have really good stats on the headpiece, but people prefer the Circlet of the Felnican due to the Affliction Haste bonus, which is great for necros, enchanters, magicians a little bit. Like your Melusine line of spells will use it, but it's not the end all be all. So if you're okay with casting your Mallow spells a little bit slower, then you can get something better. But for a groupable or even a try boxable quest. It's ridiculously good. Yes. Balfang is a little bit tricky. If you have Call of the Hero to Zlander Kazalea, then it's easier. You can kind of goth yourself and do the quest really easily. If you don't, then you need to get a friend. People sometimes sell the multi-quest. The thing with the multi-quest to be careful is that you need Warmly or like high Warmly faction, maybe even like ally. So just make sure that you're aware of that before you walk all the way to the top of Sky Shrine, only for the quest NPC to tell you to go stuff yourself. So it's best that you get like ally beforehand. And then, yeah, I would recommend the circular to pretty much any class that can use it, so it's really good for druids as well. Pretty much anyone that can use it until you get something better. Ah, yeah, buddy. Those gloves are pretty good. Oh, come on. I was gonna get a drink, but I'm broke. Yeah, man, those gloves, when we first raided Vextal, we had 2 drop on our first kill. First time we killed TVK, we got 2 of those gloves, and they went for really cheap because people didn't know about it. They haven't done their research on the loot yet. They didn't have their characters keyed of X-Style. So on our first clears, it was mostly, you know, the mains that had the key. So there wasn't like all the main Necros and Magicians that were present for the kill. And also because they dropped and we had 2 drop at the same time, people are like, oh, this item is common, I don't want to pay too much, so I'll just get it next time. And then we had a period of like over a year, maybe a year and a half, where none dropped again. So everyone was just gagging for it. It was a little prank that the game played on us, gave us a false sense of security that these gloves would drop more often than they did, because we didn't see them for a very long time after that. So the subsequent pair that dropped went for a shitload. Yeah, exactly. So when we first got into VT, it was just us and Temerity in VT. So it was like an expectation, oh, you know, the rotations are pretty frequent. It's every 2 weeks we're back in there. We'll just, you know, kill it and get some more gloves. And then we didn't get any for like a year and a half, which meant that during this time, more guilds entered Vextal. So the rotation grew from 2 guilds to 3 guilds, and then 4 guilds. And I believe now we have a 5th guild that is about to start raiding Vextal. So the loot is more valuable now because the there's more contesting for the content, and there's less chance of you getting what you want. More random elements involved. You know, you could have an item just not drop for the next 2 years simply because we're only hunting there once every 2 months, and drop like, you know, 1 in 10 clears, and that could be like 2 years. So now if something drops that you want, you better pay up, otherwise good luck. Otherwise you may not see it for a very long time. You could also go on the assumption that Planes of Power will be out soon, and maybe you get your alternate item, the one that's an upgrade or something like that. But keep in mind that Vextal has a lot of unique items, so there's lots of unique clickies and stuff, so it's not guaranteed that there's an equivalent item in Planes of Power. It's not necessarily that you'll get an upgrade, because there may not exist an upgrade. There's a few items with unique clickies and stuff, so if you want it, you better get it. As they say, snooze, you snooze, you lose. If you don't bet on that juicy, unique item that you want, then tough luck. Get this rat. I believe Vextal will still be farmed, at least the main bosses, the ones you have to kill Atenhara. I don't see why anybody would stop killing Atenhara. The loot is just simply too good. The loot for the elemental planes is like comparable, so it's a very long wait if you stop raiding Vextal. It's going to be until, you know, elemental planes or plane of time that you're not going to get any upgrades. Now I've slaughtered my pet and I'm going to miss it because I just gotta go chat to my flatmate for a second. So what I do is I will use Dazzle, which is a very long-lasting mez, and then I'll just take a small AFK. I'll be back. Okie dokie, I am back. I'll show you a little trick on mezzing your pet and then recharming it while it's mezzed, but having a way to break mezz quickly. I'll just show you in a sec. I don't know how many people know this trick, probably not many. I believe it's accurate mechanics. I don't know, I don't think it's an exploit. I believe it's intended mechanic. But here is what you do. You charm your pet. And then you got pet health. And you can see that it's mezzed, it's got dazzle on it. But if you invis yourself, it will break. It will break both charm and mezz. So I mistimed the stun a little bit. It was supposed to stun the pet as charm broke. But yeah, good enough. So now we're back. I think I'm missing a buff. Let me just do fire resist. But if your pet is mezzed, when you break charm, it will both. Okay. When you break charm, it will both break charm and any other things like potentially root and mezz, I believe. I'm not 100% on root, but mezz definitely. So this is a way of me unmezzing my pet when it gets charmed by mezzed by an enchanter mob. If an enchanter mob mezzes my pet, I don't want to wait 1.5 minutes, and what I'll do is I'll just purposely break my charm with invis, and that will both break charm and mezz. Get health. Okay, cool. These things following me, no. Follow. So there's 2 monsters that are usually here, but I've pulled them already. So there's a rat that's gonna come in. Where'd you come from? Aye. So I'm missing some junk buffs on my mage, so I will rebuff it now. Gotta keep those junk buffs up, because you never know when you're gonna get dispelled. Am I missing anything here? Nope, don't think so. Ooh, I got an AA point, nice. Don't know if I got anything to spend it on. I'll just save it, save my pennies. do a little scout with my eye. So my mage has an insta-clicky Eye of Zom, which is pretty cool. A very handy item, very good. I would highly recommend that you do the quest to get that item. Well, I don't know. It's debatable. I think it's on the Eye of Zom no aggro. I think it'll be useful to be able to pull with the eye. Bards would be great pullers because you could use the eye and then you could pacify and do some funky mechanics with it. So it's a bit of a double-edged benefit slash nerf situation where it's useful either way. Eye is used for scouting without aggro, but eye is used for pulling with aggro, so it's one or the other. I think the original EQ devs flip-flopped on the mechanic between our era, between Velius, Lachlan, Winds of Power and stuff. They couldn't decide whether they wanted eye to be aggro or not, so they had various iterations where one patch it was aggro and one patch it wasn't. I will just consolidate some of these armor drops to characters, so I make some room. Because I know bards can do some pretty cool tricks with the Singing Steel Helmet, which has Eye of Zom and their ability to pacify things, as well as charm things and dispel things, and later in Winds of Power they get the ability, okay, we've got extra aggro from something. I don't know how this pull is gonna go. Yep, good. In Planes of Power, bards get an ability called Fading Memories, which is basically a complete memblur. It makes you lose aggro on whatever you've got, which is pretty awesome. I believe it's regarded as one of the better AAs that you can get. Which makes bards great pullers. So if you had a combination of Eye of Zom aggro and pacify and some kind of fading memories tricks, you could do some pretty cool pulling stuff. Do some magics. It's gonna be OP as it is at the moment. Uh-oh. Need to do some hit point buffs on the pets. Oh, I need some healing on the pets first.
Wow.
Nice.
Fizzle.
Good use of the soundboard stuff. Love it. Feel free to be as liberal as you like on that one. Press those sound bites. Oh, come on, dude.
Fizzle.
Okay, what was I doing? I was rebuffing these pets with some hit point buffs. And then what we also need to do is refresh Blessing of Faith. So Blessing of Faith is a cleric spell haste buff. What it does, it gives you a 10% faster cast time on spells. It stacks with Warn item haste. So if you have like spell haste or affliction efficiency focus item, this will be an additional 10% on top, which is really good because it coincides with you casting a stun on your pet and then casting this long duration allure recharm of 3.4 seconds. Typically a stun is about 4 seconds. So if you're really quick, you can stun and then you can recharm your pet. Which is why you want all the spell haste you can get, because it will make it's like an extra 0.6 seconds or something like that. Every bit helps. You need that for quick recharming.
Fizzle.
So I always keep the buff up on my casters. It helps with quick spot heals as well. If you are getting beat on by a hasted pet, then every half a second definitely counts. Let's get this guy that's running away. I love these. They kind of sound like Zoidberg. When they attack, they go whoop, 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 whoop. Pretty good. I like it. I'll get closer next time when they're swinging. When I'm clearing level 2, there should be some ire gusts there, and you can hear them going whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, a good idea. I've got a lot more sounds to add, but there's a limit of how many you can have as the channel things. I think the rest of them have to be under the bits sounds, which you have to spend the currency, the Twitch currency. So you have to like pay, you know, like 5 cents or something to make the sound. Let me just check something. So in the stream itself, is there a little panel below? A little panel that has... Yes, you do. Yes. There you go. Let's see if this works.
So now, we only kill animals to, quote, thin out their numbers. If we don't hunt, then these animals will grow too big a number and they won't have enough food. So you see, we have to kill animals or else they'll die.
So it does work. There should be a little soundboard below below my stream that lets you play more sounds. There we go, it works. It's good. Ah, what's going on here? Ah, so she's Mez the pet. The mage pet is mezzed.
Fizzle.
I was screwing around with the soundboard and I think the enchanter NPC was like, this is my chance. I will definitely win. Close. Close. Nice try, as they say. Come on, where's my sound? Yeah, this is what I want to play.
Nice try, doppelganger.
What? We're not doppelgangers.
Save it for Queen Doppelpopulus.
There we go. Oh, okay, so now we've got... Oh, shit. Yeah. So these two Ashenbone Drakes are fairly close to the Spite... Master of Spite. And it's a bit of a risky proposition to try and pull them now because I don't want to fight the Master of Spite and I can't pacify these drakes. So might have to wait a little bit for a break in their pathing to make sure I can pull them. I will use this opportunity to redo some buffs. I think another three or so. This one isn't even up. I don't have to go here. I can get out of this place. We shall go upstairs now, so there should be 2 or 3 more minis up. How I know is I've tracked it. So I have a ranger here that lets me check and see what mobs are up. And then I can bind sight and look around. My wizard is also here and I use Eye of Talon to scout. So I could see with my ranger in which direction Magi was up. And then in that direction, I sent the eye and I scouted and had a look. And that's why I knew not to get too excited when I was killing the magic, because I see he had no staff. He equips it, so if he has a staff, he'll carry it. Like that Mistress of Scorn, how she was carrying the fire staff, the Magi also carries the earth staff. So this is how I deal with these 2 Ashenbone Drakes, is I engage one and miss the other. Now they're belly casters, so you have to kind of run in. You gotta run in and tank them. You can miss it when you're on top of it. And they're quite resistant, so for a normal mez and normal slow, you have to debuff magic resist and stuff. So I've done a mallow and a tash, and I'm going to stand on top of it and try to mez it with normal mez. There we go. So normal mez has taken hold. The ancient rapture has been overwritten, and I've just slowed it as well. Bellycaster, yes. So this is a mechanic that was introduced in Classic. And it was first put on Lord Negafin, Lady Box, and the Fire Giants and Ice Giant monsters inside the dragon areas. So the Fire Giants before Lord Negafin and the Ice Giants before Lady Box are flagged as Bellycasters, which means they are immune to all spells unless you are within the melee range of the mob. So you gotta be inside its belly to cast spells. Which is why they're called Bellycasters, because you gotta get right up inside its belly to be able to cast any spells in it. Otherwise they will resist all spells. So for example, I can cast this root spell as much as I want, and it will just be resisted. It will never land because I'm outside of its melee range. The only thing that will land on belly caster monsters is spells which are flagged as unresistible.
Fizzle.
So there's a few spells which are unresistible. One is Tash, So the Enchanter Tash spell, as well as the Magician or Shaman Mallow spell. There's two versions of Mallow. There's Mallow and Mallow, which are unresistible. They're level 60. And then there's the Malocini, which is a higher debuff, but it's magic based. So you can check which spells are unresistible because it will actually say that in the spell data. So, as an example, if you open up the Lucy Alcabor website, over here you can see Tashanian, and then you can say resist. It says unresistible, so it's not magic based, it's unresistible. So if you go to Shaman and you've got the level 60 version, Mallow, it says unresistible. Whereas if you look at the level 57 version, Malocini, it says magic. Right? So Mallow you can cast on any mob, regardless of if it's bellycaster or not, and it will always land and generate full aggro. If you try to cast a spell on a bellycaster mob, not only will it get resisted, not only will the spell always get resisted, but it will also generate very minimal aggro. So it'll be like 1 aggro. It'll get you on the hate list, but it will not generate full threat. So, as an example, if you have a bellycaster mob and you're a shaman or something, and you try to cast a slow on the mob outside of bellycaster range, the slow will always be resisted, but it will generate 1 aggro instead of the full 1200 aggro that a slow might generate on a normal monster. This means that if you're like a paladin that's tanking a boss, it's very important for you to know whether a mob is a bellycaster or not. Because if you're trying to pull snap aggro, like you're taking a mob and it's run away from you, and you're trying to bring the mob back, casting a bunch of stuns on a bellycaster mob will do nothing. You have to go back, you have to chase the mob, you have to go inside the mob, and then you have to cast stuns while inside the melee range of the mob for you to actually generate aggro. So it's important for you to understand which mobs are bellycasters and which aren't, so that you know how to do your job effectively. If you need to pull aggro on a dragon, and that dragon happens to be a bellycaster, you need to know that you casting like your stun spells 10 times is going to do nothing. Then you know that the dragon is on top of the clerics and it's beating up the clerics, and you're like, I don't get it, I'm casting my stun, why isn't the dragon coming here? This is because it's a bellycaster, right? So you need to know that. A lot of the dragons are like dragons in Sleeper's Tomb, dragons in Temple of Vishan. So if you raid TOV, all the dragons, well, not all the dragons, the majority of the dragons are bellycasters. So you have to like go inside the dragon and nuke. Which is, you know, another good reason why everybody needs resists, right? So even the casters need resists. Because you can't just hide out of range or far away or whatever. You have to be like within the dragon's AE spell damage. And sometimes you have to be on top of the dragon, inside the dragon. You can't just be like hiding around the corner and then you just like peep out of the corner, nuke and peep back. Because the dragon will just resist your nukes. You have to like walk all the way on top of a dragon, nuke it, and if you try to juggle that, going back and forth in and out between AEs, sometimes it's not enough time because dragons have multiple AEs, which is why having resist is very good. So that when the dragon does the, 600 damage AE thing, you only take maybe 50 damage or something. So notable bellycaster mobs will be a lot of the bosses. It's almost kind of like safer to assume that something is a bellycaster than it isn't. But a good test would be if you're like a wizard. Oh gosh. A good test is if you're a wizard and you have your lure nuke spells, the ones that have a very high negative resist modifier. Like your fire nuke with minus 300 fire resist. If you try to nuke something and your minus 300 fire nuke is fully resisted, it's pretty likely that the boss mob is a bellycaster. It could just be immune to fire, it could just have, 1,000
Fizzle.
fire resist, but it's a safe bet that it's actually a bellycaster. Like Dracolich in Plane of Fear. I think it's a bellycaster. Oh, actually, no. No. I don't think it is. I can't remember. But all the fire giants are. Ice giants, Ladybox, Megafin, the Unark dragons, Vishon's Peak dragons. You gotta get right up in there and do your nukes. You gotta be brave.
Fizzle.
But yes, it's a very interesting mechanic. A lot of people don't fully understand how it works. So hope this information was useful. So if you like tanking some dragons and you need to generate threat before the engage. For example, if you want to debuff the dragon, the only unresistible spell that actually generates a significant number of threat points is Tash. So Tash should be about 1200 aggro per cast. And on a belly casting dragon, it's one of the effective ways to generate threat. With an enchanter, you can just Tash it from like 200 range away and Tash it over and over, and then like sit down or something, and then the mob will be aggro on the enchanter. And then a shaman or something can go inside the mob within the belly casting melee range and not get killed by the dragon, because the mob will be aggro on the enchanter.
Fizzle.
Stuff like that. So, like the Shaman Mellow is also irresistible, but it only generates about 40 threat, whereas a Tash is 1200, so significant difference. Technically, you could cast Mellow like 100 times, but that's not really practical at all. Alright, got another AA point. Nice. Is there anything I'm trying to buy? Let's see. Ah, yes, quick summoning. I do need that. That's what I wanted. Quick summoning is an AA that makes my Call of the Hero cast faster. So, let's see. It'll be 6 seconds. I just need to test something. So I'm going to click off Blessing of Faith and see if it's still 6 seconds. Yes, nice. Nice.
Fizzle.
Look at these beautiful gems. Blue diamonds all day. Yeah, they're good. Oh, shitballs. I think blue diamonds are probably the best gem you can get here because they sell in the bazaar. Everything else is like vendor material. It'd be nice if I got the Shattered Emerald of Corruption from these mini bosses. There's a few people that need it. I think there's a few people that have been auctioning. They wanna buy it. Some have hit me up because they know I hunt in Plane of Hate. But unfortunately, I don't have any, so I have to tell them I can't help them. Which is not something I like doing. I usually like to have loot available to buy. But sometimes I gotta say no to my customers. Yeah, that's right. It's for the Earth Shaker, the 50% slow proc. So it's quite a desired item. People really do. They want it even much later in the expansions. The weapon itself, the ratio isn't very good. The weapon itself isn't amazing, but the slow proc is very useful. It's like a item that's good forever sort of thing. Look at that beautiful spell taking 60% of my mana. Delicious.
Fizzle.
Delicious egalism. So I've turned my horse on to get some mana back. What am I missing? Am I missing a buff here? Yes, I'm missing these petals. I don't think this guy enrages, but I'm gonna be on standby just in case he does. Yeah, we're good. Little Zoidberg. Shield of the Immaculate. Not a Shadow Emerald of Corruption, unfortunately. It's something. But it's not what I want. I like these monk mummies. They got some sweet kung fu moves. Yeah, I love it. I love the flying kicks. I'm just trying to wait till my pet has a little bit more aggro before I slow it. Ooh, gotta resist. Yeah, we're good. If I sit down now. No, we're good. Yeah, flying kicks. Such a cool animation. Come on, do the thing, do the flying kick. Do the move. Like that meme. Now that you're watching. No, I'm not doing it. He just did it just before, so we're good. Well, no, I'm not doing it. Hey.
Fizzle.
Alright, we've got one more mini after this, and then I will check tracking to make sure that the last one didn't spawn or anything like that. I don't think it will. But I'm doing this mini last because if the book drops, or the necro, oops, enrage. If the necro book drops, I want to be able to just relog and get it without having to like recharm my pet. Because if I kill this last mini, I'll just kill my pet and then I can move on. Heal the pets. They took a little bit of enrage damage.
Fizzle.
So the normal Ashenbow Drakes are bellycasters, which means you have to be in the melee range to get them. But this named one, the Ashenbow Broodmaster, is not a bellycaster. You can cast from distance. I'm not sure if this is accurate or intended, but it is what it is. It doesn't really change the encounter very much. It's just slightly easier because you can do some nukes. Typically, you can't nuke the little drakes. So slowing it is a little bit easier, and doing the nukes is a little bit easier, but it's not really game breaking or anything like that. Now we'll see if we've got any drop. A quick way is to consider the corpse. If the corpse has 30 minutes on it, it's got an item. If it's got 29 seconds on it, it's empty. So this corpse is empty. So it goes. Can't get fat lids all the time. So now we'll just kill the pet. Some nukes. Good night, buddy. Nice to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Thanks again for your subscription, and have a good night. Have a good sleep. I'll just camp these dudes and do a quick little check of various bosses, see if there's anything else that's up that's interesting. Gonna see if anything has respawned up here. Nope, got all the bosses, so Master of Spite is the only mini that's left, so we can leave in peace, knowing nothing is respawned. Let's see if anything else that's interesting is maybe up. What's up in Kedge Keep? Phinny is up, let's see. Let's see what he's got. Nothing good is the answer. I mean, hard to tell. So this Rod of Melisment is a one-handed item, so he'll wield it as a preference. So he could have something better underneath. Do a little snipe. Do it for old time's sake. Phinny is a fun little kill. Easy little quick snipe, so let's see how we go. And the reason why I'm bringing the cleric along is simply to loot stuff, if like edge backbone drops or something like that, or a staff. I just want to make sure that I can loot it because the items are lore, and I may already have something. Oh, did I lose? lose my movement buff. I'll just do a little Phinny snipe, and then I will go get some food and head out. So managed to clear some minis in Plane of Hate. That was the objective. We have successfully killed some stuff. We did the thing. Whoa. Whoa. See if I can smash into the ground really quickly and take some falling damage. Oh. Oh shit. Trying to follow along in the catch keep is always fun. Underwater zone adventures. Trying to auto follow. Bum, bum. Out west. Oh, what's the seahorse? Is he gonna see me? Nope, indifferent, that's good. Sometimes they see invis and then they get you. Just sitting there all day, and then like, finally, my insatiable seahorse thirst for blood will be quenched when I devour this adventurer. But the Kedge is a pretty fun zone. It's good when you know your way around, when you learn all these tunnels, underwater tunnels, and you can get to where you need to get. One thing I always find a bigger challenge is doing it backwards. because I know how to get there from zoning, but like backtracking is it's actually harder because you don't do it as often. Sometimes what you might find easier is if you just go back to zoning and start again. Okay, now this is going to be tricky because these damn seahorses are a little bit bugged at the moment until the next patch. There's been some changes to the pathing, specifically underwater pathing, which means that monsters don't reset as quickly as they should. They struggle to find the Z-axis. So they will path down, but they'll kind of ghost. See how this fish is ghosting, trying to traverse. So it's just a bit screwed up at the moment. Only lovers left alive. Kill this fish. Where are you, fishy fish? Oh, there we go. And now I gotta wait for the seahorse to reset. It'll take a little while. I'm not sure if it's reset yet. My view isn't the best. Nope, not yet. Oh, damn, he started to cast.
Spell
Gonna break my
propane.
plane. He's casting again. And we're good. Okay. And I'm just gonna wait for the seahorse to go back. It's being funky. See how it's ghosting? It'll take a bit longer for it to reset because of the patch issues. Ordering some dinner while we wait. What I might do is I might peek with this. Yep, should be reset. Should be reset, so I will try again. Here we go, just the fish. Hooray! I'm trying to fight it over in this spot because, well, where'd you go? because then I'm in range of my druid who's healing from the outside of the wall. So basically, my monk is over here in the black void in the darkness of the water on the other side of the wall, and druid is safe for healing. Hey Ziff, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I'm doing great, but I'm unfortunately gonna wrap up soon. I'm just killing Phinny, and then I gotta order some dinner and head out. How are you doing this fine evening? What are your characters' names? Do you want to send me a tell on Slatka? This one, SLATKA. And then I'll like add you as a friend or something, and then we can talk about the business. I got a way of messaging you outside the game. Alternatively, you can send me a message on the forums if you go on the TAKP forums. Go find my bizarre threads and then send me a little message. But I've been hunting today. I was killing some Plane of Hate minis. They were up. Unfortunately, Neji did not spawn with a staff, but I still killed them just to clear them. And then hopefully I'll catch the respawn in about 3 days, just before patch time, just before the patch is due to reset everything. So maybe next reset I'll get lucky, I'll get another staff, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. But they are just fun to kill. I'm also trying to get a Shattered Emerald of Corruption. There's a few people that have been asking me on the forums. I think I've got a guildmate that needs one, and there's a few people on the forums that need one, so I'm clearing all the minis on the low chance that maybe a Shattered Emerald will drop. They're really rare, like usually takes me, I don't know, like 3 to 6 months to get one. I haven't gotten many in my hunting, maybe like half a dozen, maybe more. They are quite a rare item. But it's fun. The minis are fun to kill. See what we got, and it's complete garbage. Who would have thought? I never would have guessed that Phinny would drop complete garbage. Some seahorses trying to get me. So I will. I'll just teleport out, and I will end the stream because I gotta go organize some dinner and go watch a movie and stuff, and rest easy knowing that Inaruk's minions and Plane of Hate have been slain Good weekend once again. Until they regenerate their strength and come back next time. I'll go find another streamer to raid. I've got a few viewers that I can offload onto them, so I'll just organize that. And thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Until next time, until we have some more things to kill. I probably won't stream tomorrow. I think I'll be away. Maybe Monday after work, late night, might stream a little bit. Tuesday, my time, I'll be away again, so see how we go. It'll be quite late if I do stream next week because I'll probably be at work, and then I'll stream when I get home, that kind of stuff. But I will go and raid another EverQuest streamer, and I bid you good night. Thank you again for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time.